Picture this. You're at an airport gate. You've been traveling all day long, and your phone is hanging on by a total thread. We're talking 3% battery. You look around, you're a bit panicked, and then you see it. A free public charging station with a cable already plugged in, just waiting there for you, like this absolute beacon of hope. So you grab it, you plug in, and you let out a huge sigh of relief. Well, welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to unpack exactly why that moment of relief might actually be the start of a massive cybersecurity headache.
So you plug your phone in at that 3% battery mark, and it takes what? Maybe 11 minutes for your device to quickly climb back up to 40%. You're sitting there just watching that battery icon turn from red to green. But while you're doing that, something else might be happening at the exact same time. Something you can't see, you definitely can't feel, and honestly, you probably won't even notice for weeks.
And this perfectly illustrates exactly what's at stake here. See, in the exact opposite direction of that power flowing into your phone, your most sensitive data could be silently flowing out. We're talking about the whole shebang: your contacts, your personal photos, your saved passwords, even the data right out of your banking apps. All of it, just moving through that same tiny cable straight into a device hidden inside or just behind that seemingly innocent charging station. And look, this isn't some hypothetical movie plot. This is very real. Security researchers have documented this over and over, and major agencies, like the FBI and the FCC, they've been quietly warning the public about this for years.
Okay, let's dive into this, because the strange part isn't necessarily that this data theft is possible. The truly mind-boggling part is why it's possible at all. I mean, why on earth does charging your phone's battery require the exact same connection that can copy and steal your data? And why, after all these years of knowing about this vulnerability, hasn't anyone just fixed the design?
Section 1. Inside the USB cable. Let's look at the physical anatomy of this threat.
To actually answer that mystery, we have to take a closer look at the weapon itself. We need to literally look right inside the physical anatomy of the cord you plug into your device every single day. If you were to take a pair of scissors, not that I recommend doing this, but if you did crack open a standard USB cable, you wouldn't just find one thick wire carrying electricity. You'd find exactly 4 distinct wires running through it. And understanding what these 4 wires do, that is absolutely crucial to understanding this entire vulnerability.
So out of those 4 wires, 2 of them are dedicated entirely to carrying power. Those are the good guys in our airport scenario, right? They're the ones actually filling up your battery. But the other 2 wires carry something completely different. They carry data. They're the exact same pathways your phone uses to sync photos to a laptop or to let your computer recognize your device when you plug it in.
We've all seen this, right? You plug your phone into a computer and you get that little pop-up asking, "Trust this computer." That digital handshake happens over those exact 2 data wires. But here is the massive design flaw. Your phone actually doesn't know what's on the other end of that cable. It cannot tell the difference between a dumb wall adapter that only sends electricity and a hacked charging kiosk that's actively trying to send malicious commands. All your phone sees is a connection. And by default, phones are programmed to be helpful. They're built to say yes to a connection first and ask questions later. That 1990s design choice, which was made purely to make data transfer convenient, is the exact crack this attack slips right through.
Section 2. How attackers steal data. Let's examine the actual methods of attack.
So, we know the door is essentially left unlocked by design. Now let's look at how someone actually turns this everyday convenience into an active exploit. Enter the official term for this cyber threat: juice jacking. This is exactly what those cybersecurity agencies are warning us about. It's an attack where malware is installed or your private data is secretly copied, simply by using a public charging port that secretly doubles as a hidden data connection.
Attackers generally use one of 2 methods to pull off a juice jacking attack. The first is a compromised port. Basically, attackers will pry open a public charging station, like the ones bolted into shopping malls or airport seating, and wire in a tiny hidden computer. Honestly, it can be as small as a coin. So when you plug in, your phone is talking directly to that hidden computer, which tries to install malware or log your keystrokes, while your screen just shows a perfectly normal charging icon. The second method, though, it doesn't even require tampering with the kiosk at all. The threat is in the cable itself.
Now, what's really terrifying about this method is just how deceptive modern spy hardware has become. There's real hardware out there right now, sold under names like the OMG cable. If you hold it in your hand, I promise you, it looks absolutely identical to a normal charging cord. It's got the same connector, the same white rubber coating, but inside the tip of the cable, it hides a microscopic wireless chip. If you plug it into your phone, an attacker sitting in a car out in the parking lot can remotely trigger that chip to inject commands right into your device. It looks exactly like a standard cable, but it behaves entirely like an espionage tool. It's wild.
And human nature plays right into the attacker's hands here. Back in 2019, security researchers ran this brilliant, almost cinematic experiment. They took these modified spy cables and literally just left them lying around in common areas of an office. The whole goal was to see if employees would just pick up a random cord and use it. And guess what? Multiple people did. Hackers know the psychology of a traveler with a dying phone. When your battery is in the red and you have a meeting in 5 minutes, convenience is going to be caution almost every single time.
Section 3. The reality of the threat. Let's separate the panic from the facts.
But hey, let's take a collective breath for a second. As an explainer of the facts, it's really important to be completely accurate here and level with you. Full-blown, confirmed juice-jacking attacks out in the wild against everyday travelers, they're actually quite rare. Sometimes the panic outpaces the current reality. Most public charging stations are exactly what they appear to be. Totally boring, completely safe power outlets. So you might be wondering, why do the FBI and cybersecurity experts keep bringing it up? Well, it's because public charging infrastructure is spreading absolutely everywhere. It's not just at the airport anymore. USB ports are in our gyms, they're in the back seats of rideshares, they're even integrated into grocery store shopping carts. The number of potential attack points is multiplying rapidly. Security experts aren't saying millions are being hacked today, they're warning us because the vulnerability is sitting right there, perfectly built into the system, just waiting for the right person with the wrong intentions.
Section 4. How to protect yourself. Let's look at some easy security fixes.
So, the crucial point is, how do we actually fix this for ourselves? Let's pivot away from the problem and look at the solutions, because protecting yourself from this invisible threat is actually incredibly empowering and remarkably simple once you know how those cables work. You basically got 4 highly effective practical options. Step 1 is definitely the most elegant. Use a USB data blocker. Researchers affectionately nickname these things a USB condom. It's just a tiny adapter about the size of a stick of gum. You plug it in right between your phone and the public cable. It physically connects the power wires but leaves the data wires completely disconnected. Your phone gets electricity but literally cannot talk to the kiosk. Step 2. Just carry your own charge-only cable. These are actually manufactured without the data wires inside them at all. Half the conversation literally doesn't exist. Step 3, rely on your own portable power bank. Obviously, if you don't plug into a public port, there's zero risk. And finally, step 4, if you're out there with no gear at all, rely on your phone's built-in safety net. When that prompt pops up asking if you trust the device, firmly select charge only. That closes the software loophole in seconds.
And, this brings us to a really profound truth about modern cybersecurity. The most dangerous vulnerabilities in our lives aren't always those dramatic movie hacker moments. They're actually the boring, invisible defaults built into the ordinary systems we trust every day without ever questioning. A universal cable is so ordinary we never even think about its dual ability to move both data and power. Decades ago, the inventors of USB made a trade-off. They chose convenience over caution, and that single choice is still dictating exactly how careful you have to be in public today.
So, the next time you're traveling, your battery hits red, and you see a free charging station just sitting there, waiting for you, I want you to pause. Look at that little USB slot, and ask yourself the only question that actually matters. Is this port here to give you power, or could it just as easily be here to take something back? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and definitely stay safe out there.